Are we on?
We're live. We're live.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Hello. Hi, Brandon.
Hold on, everybody.
I'm checking the baseball scores. Is Barry and you're not on? I can't talk baseball.
Oh, you poor thing.
All right. There we go. Hello, everybody.
Hello. That's really loud.
All right. Hi, Karen. Joe, Syrah. Okay, this tasting's for Joe. And Joe. Hey, I want to say something real quick before, like I usually do, before we start. Right now, with our meal kits for the church, we are up to, I think it's 15 meal kits. So it got a little bit complicated for me with my schedule and getting just like orders here and there for the meals for the needy. So I decided to do, like, every time that we get up to 20, then I will do the meal kits and bring them all at once, so that I'm not every week just doing little ones runs here and there, because it's too much for me to do. It's a lot. I can't handle it. But I think it's better too to take them in big quantities. Yeah. So right now I believe we're at 15. As soon as we get to 20, I will make the meal kits and I will drop them off at the church. So I am receiving your orders for those, and thank you guys for the donations. And soon we'll have a lot of meals that we can drop off.
Does everybody know what that is?
Yeah, I think everyone knows. Okay. Most people have donated to the meal kits. It's just the Lutheran Church every other Saturday. They provide food for those in need, so anyone can drive up and get some food. And so we started preparing, like making bags of, like, usually like 6 different ingredients that creates a whole meal for them, so that they don't just get like random things from the pickup, which I'm, either way, I'm sure they're happy. But we just decided it'd be nice to do whole meals that they can just put in a pot and it makes a meal. So that's what the donations are for. So thank you guys for that, and we'll be delivering soon. And I think we should drink some wine.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. Is everybody ready?
Yeah, let's just get started.
All right. We're going to start off with a little rosé today, y'all. I'm sure you guys can kind of see the bottle there. I think Alex is going to show you. So this is Wolfer Summer in a Bottle 2020 Rosé, fresh into Florida. As you can see, the packaging is absolutely beautiful. One of, I think, the coolest eye-catching bottles on the shelf you can really have. And Wolfer, they take their time with their art and their packaging. They do this with all their labels. So what's really cool about this, we haven't had anything besides a Riesling from the state of New York, but we're going to the opposite side now. We're going to be in the Sagaponic region of Long Island, so AKA the Hamptons. So Wolfer Estates is owned by Christian Wolfer. He's from Hamburg, Germany. They only have about 55 acres that they're producing wines on there. Primarily, they're really growing Merlot and Cabernet Franc is kind of what they thrive on. There's a lot of talks about Long Island being a little more, it's more Bordeaux-esque. It does have a similar soil types and climate. So that's why, as you can see, there are, Merlot and Cab Franc thrive there as it does in Bordeaux. They produce about 13,000 cases of wine annually. And that's throughout all of their labels, right? I think personally, the Rosé, the Summer in a Bottle, is their breadwinner, their driver. I actually have to pull up what the blend is because it's so unique on this. As you can see, It has that a little bit of that minerality and salinity in the flavor profile. It's super dry, but has a really long lingering finish on it. So the blend you're drinking of the rosé is 48% Merlot, 17% Chardonnay, 13% Cabernet, 13% Cabernet Franc, 3% Gewürztraminer, 3% Sauvignon Blanc, and 2% Pinot Noir, and 0.5% of Pinot Blanc. So as you can see, this is probably the most involved rosé we've ever had on a blend or any blend of wine. That's why I kind of wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. It's a really cool one. Wolfer is, I can say, is the best vineyard you're going to get out of the Hamptons. I know a lot of friends that personally went there and say it's just an absolutely beautiful piece of property. It's such an awesome place to hang out. And when I asked them, how are all the other vineyards, around there? And they just kind of shake their head in a hard no. So,
hey, Brandon, I want to tell you, Jean is on here. Steve's out of town. She has to drive to get him at the airport, so she's not drinking. But they are members of the wine club for this winery. And she texted me. She has this bottle at home. She texted me a picture. She's like, we have that bottle. We love that winery.
That's awesome.
So.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, Roman Roth is the winemaker for him. He does an awesome job. Like I said, they actually do 2 rosés. So another one to definitely keep an eye out for is the Finca Rosé, which they're not growing on property. They actually source out of Argentina on that one. It's 100% Malbec Rosé. It's a different packaging. It's a little shorter, rounder bottle. Still 750 milliliter. Cool label, but it's stylistically a lot different than this, being more kind of like your Bordeaux style rosé and opposed to a New World Malbec rosé. What do you guys think of this one?
I like it. It's really well balanced. I feel like.
So you when I see a bottle that's that pretty, it makes me nervous about the wine.
Same here.
I'm
here. I'm the same way.
Yeah, so I was pouring that this morning and looking at all the tubes lined up, and the sunlight was coming in on them, and the color was so beautiful. And I was like, I love this wine. I had a little sip of it to do the pairing, and I was like, this is just a great wine, beautiful bottle, but it's a nice gift,
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
That's really good.
That's the prettiest bottle I think you've ever had.
Oh, no.
It really is. And they do, like I said, there's such a cool packaging. The artwork they do, they used to produce, they still produce cider, actually, from local New York State apples. And they do them in cans, and they have really cool packaging like that. Unfortunately, they don't have it in Florida anymore. It's just the way she goes. So,
yeah. Maybe another time, maybe later down the road.
Yeah.
So what do people think of this one?
So yeah, what do people?
So what's the cheese?
Oh, the cheese. The cheese is the La Bonne Vie Chante, the garlic and herb goat cheese spread.
Probably want a cracker.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not. All I hear is that Mike McAleenan agrees with Alex. So.
Of course he does.
Yeah, this is a cool starter wine. That's why we're beginning with this one. It's great with any hors d'oeuvres, any of your fish plates, smoked salmon. It could go well with really any soft cheese too. But it can hold up to some turkey too, turkey and some pork as well. It's definitely dry and savory enough for it. And it has the right amount of acidity balance in there.
Jean says it's a great porch pounder too.
Oh yeah.
No, this would be good to start Easter dinner with. If Bonnie Kate's watching, this is what I'm bringing to start off.
Oh, Joy says it's not her favorite rosé. Joy, what is your favorite rosé? I'm curious to know. I think this might be my favorite one in the shop right now. No, I'm blind.
I'm with Joy. There's one in here.
Oh, it's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite.
Okay.
It's not.
But it's very. I think it's good.
I would expect you like a drier rosé, Kate, than this one.
I don't know.
This-
I'm in love with this rosé.
This one is a party in my mouth. I will say that. There's a lot going on. That's how I feel. But it's good. I like it.
You like the Composé?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But this one's good, Brandon.
Josie
Yeah.
and Sam Slater. It's great with this cheese.
Yeah, that cheese is awesome.
Well,
I think
so
that this goes well with the vibe in the shop too. It's a cool, pretty bottle.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, this could be. Well, I mean, I seem to like it.
Let's get to the Syrah.
Wait, we're not.
We got another white here,
We
Alex.
still have another we have to go through a Sauvignon Blanc first, Alex.
Oh,
Don't rush us.
Well, Joy says it's not her favorite rosé, and I wanted to know which one, and she said some others in your shop. So that's good enough for me.
I love
Yeah.
that, Joy.
Because
We're
in
still
my shop.
winning, so
That's the perfect answer.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Oh, Mike agrees with Christy. Not my Mike. He never agrees with me. Mike McAleenan.
Mike's very agreeable today.
Yeah, right? He must have pre-gamed.
well. Oh no, it's not Friday. I
I
was
love
gonna say
this.
it is Friday, but it's not.
All right, are we moving on? What are we doing?
Oh yeah, Joy. I think you're the same as Christy. I think it's the Composé that you both are big fans of. So
yeah, a little more Rhone style, a little Grenache, a little drier and crisper for sure. Not as big and bold.
Yeah, this one's definitely big and bold. Like there's a lot going on
Yeah,
in my
I mean, also you got to look at the blend that's going on in there. You have so many flavor profiles bouncing around, so it's super complex.
well, yeah, I don't know. I like what's going on in my mouth. All right. So should we do
She
the
likes it. Sure. Next.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
moving right along. Go ahead and knock back that porch pounder. And we're going to move on to Domaine Trotereau from Kermit Lynch. So this is brand new to Florida and the U.S. as well. Kermit Lynch, one of the great importers out of France. So this is called Quincy. So as we've come to learn about how the French label their wine, Quincy is just the region within France that it is coming from. It is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. So Quincy is really cool because it comes down to the history of what it is. You're right along the southwest area of the Loire Valley, okay, right along the Loire River. So you're thinking right there, Quincy is a little region. It's only about 200 hectares. It's the second oldest AVA named in France, right behind Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So in 1936, this was the second region that was actually dubbed an appellation within France. It was originally started by the Cistercian monks back in the 12th century is when they actually started planting grapes on the tributary there on the Loire River within the Quincy region. So they're really just tried and true to Sauvignon Blanc. Very similar how Sancerre is, but it's a little bit lighter stylistically, right? You have really sandy, more pink limestone soil types, and it's really unlike any other Sauvignon Blanc in the world. So I want you guys to try, just definitely get some great, get it on the nose first and really prepare yourself for it. It is not going to be anything like we've had out of New Zealand. It's not going to be anything like we've had out of California or any other Sauv Blanc we've tasted through this. It was Pierre Ragon, who's the winemaker for the Domaine there, that he is keeping it tried and true to the original style of the Quincy Sauvignon Blanc, which this Domaine is founded in 1803. So it has a long period under the name Domaine Trotereau. So, back about 50 years ago, Quincy started losing a lot of appeal to people because of Sancerre and Pouilly-Fumé really taking off at a higher price point. So a lot of that region, even around there, they really wanted to try to make wines more like the Sancerre and the Pouilly-Fumé, a little bit bigger, more mineral-driven wines. And because of this, they ended up a lot of the property around Quincy, and within it started going for pennies on a dollar, and they started selling off property, and people started replanting vines just to get higher yields of the clones. So, Pierre Ragon's been doing an awesome job on this to just really keep them tried and true in the Sauvignon Blanc. But I want to know what you guys think of this wine. I think it drinks so well. I had some actually a couple weeks ago on the beach with a little bit of sushi, and I thought it paired so well.
It's so good. This one, you're right. It's really
Completely
smooth.
different, right?
Yeah. Very
Understated
smooth.
a little bit.
Yeah, like with a Sauv Blanc, you're really sometimes like punched with like
Grass.
or like
grass and citrus, and it's really overwhelming. A lot of acidity on it, but this is not. It's very light stylistically. I see Karen said if you blind tasted this, it would be really hard to pick it out as a Sauvignon Blanc. I mean,
yeah, I would say that
I
too.
just feel like it's really round in my mouth, though.
Round, that's the word.
I mean, it's not that crisp.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of bite to it, but
It doesn't have any corners.
it doesn't have any corners.
so yeah, this is real deal what Quincy is. I mean, these vines are honestly, this is probably some of the oldest vines that we've had in any wine throughout the tastings. Some of these vines are 100-year-old vines.
So I'm going to show the label there, and then sometimes when you're in a wine shop and you don't know what you're looking for, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Kermit Lynch wine merchant. He would not put his name on something if it is not of the highest quality of French wines.
Yeah, I really like
the greatest importer.
This is a really good pick. What's the price point?
28.
28.
And the pairing is the Saint Angel Triple Cream Brie.
Oh,
And
well.
unhull.
On hot. I agree with that, Karen. I think it has a long finish.
Yeah.
No corners. Very round. All right, let me see. Let me try it with that.
Yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, this one kind of came to mind because it was such a new. It's really new to Florida, and the U.S. really, and it's so unique and very esoteric. I mean, you're not seeing this wine, anywhere. Honestly, I have this.
So I like what you were saying about having it with sushi. I think that would be a really nice pairing for this. I feel like for me, I need something like some kind of food with it.
You do?
Yeah.
Honey. I love this. I
love it too.
I probably would chug it from the bottle.
You would? I just feel like it would benefit from something like sushi, like something light. But
yeah, I can definitely balance it out and kind of make the wine show a little bit better on the palate. But I'm sure I've said it time and time again. I'm not a Sauvignon Blanc drinker at all. I'm almost a little. I can't do all the citrus and the acid. It completely turns my palate off. But this, when I had it, they sent us a sample bottle, and I was like, I'm going to see how this goes. And then I had it, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, all right, see, I do like Sauvignon Blanc now.
Yeah. I think I say that every week. You can't say you don't like a certain varietal.
Yeah.
Because, but I will say, the pairing on this with the buttery brie is really nice. You did a really good job.
To me, it changed the taste of the wine.
Yeah.
in a good way or a bad way?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Probably.
Yeah.
I really like this one, Brandon. I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty geeky for sure. Very geeky wine. I mean, you got to think of how small of an area of the world this is getting picked from, and 100-year-old vines, and it is, it's very esoteric, but it's cool. It's a really fun wine.
No, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
Did you say monks?
Yes.
Yes, back in the 12th century, that's when the Sauvignon Blanc was really introduced into that area.
Okay.
But the domain itself, Domaine Trotereau, has been there since 1803. And these vines that they're pulling from are around 100-year-old vines.
They're awesome. I love this. I like this one a lot. Excellent work, Brandon.
Yeah.
It's always good to find a Sauvignon Blanc that, I mean, I agree with you. Sauvignon Blanc isn't my favorite thing, but and especially like the New Zealand style is hard.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, it gets very overpowering and overwhelming. And to me, they get very linear, and it's like,
you know what
like,
this reminds me of? This reminds me of that wine that we had that was the combo of the Viognier and Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah. Yes.
Which I don't
for
remember
sure.
what it was because it
Trying
had
to think of what it was, but that is a good comparison because you have that Viognier, which is a little bit bolder. It rounds out Sauvignon Blanc. How this is a little more softer, not as punchy on the palate with citrus and grass and all the thing and acid. Really, that's what Viognier really rounds out in that blend, and that's kind of where this lies kind of in that style. But it's almost like that blend, but a little bit lighter and crisper, not as heavy in the glass.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
I really like that one. Alex is ready for Syrah. I don't know if you know that.
I'm so excited about that.
he's like, all right.
He's like, all right, are we done with that?
Grape juice together.
Okay.
Another little cool thing to add to with the Kermit Lynch wine there, the Quincy, is for Sauvignon Blanc, this is a wine that you can actually hold for 2 or 3 years at least. It can age. It can hold some age on it. So don't be scared of it if you buy it and forget about it in the fridge.
That's great.
The Vincents and the Masters are out for holding wines at this point.
Oh, Julie says she would love with risotto. That sounds good.
That would be yummy.
Like a springy risotto.
Like lemony.
With ginger rosemary.
Yes, Alex. Isn't your sister like? Is it your sister that likes or hates Sauvignon Blanc?
She doesn't like it.
But don't you think she?
Oh no, she does like it.
She does?
Yeah.
Okay. I get confused as to which one you like. Because you like Pinot Gris, right?
I would take Pinot Gris over Sauvignon Blanc.
Typically.
Yes.
I went to the store in Highlands, North Carolina, and I'm like, oh, Kate loves Sauv Blanc.
That's why you brought me back.
she's
I was
like-
like, how long have we been married? That's like the only wine.
Do you even know me?
Yeah,
He got in trouble.
yeah. It was a really good Sauv Blanc, though. So,
Well,
not as good as this one.
no.
All right, so moving on, we're to the
the
Syrah.
Reds.
Washington State.
Okay, now I want to know. So this Syrah little tasting is specifically for Jo because she doesn't
Cool.
like Syrah. So we're gonna get her thoughts on this.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, so the first one we're going to start off with on the Syrahs is going to be the Léocolle number 41 Syrah. We've definitely had some of the Léocolle products throughout the course of the last year of our virtuals. So I'm not going to bore you too much over and over again with Léocolle's history. Being founded in 1983, they're Walla Walla Valley. They have the historic Frenchtown School still on their label, et cetera, et cetera. But, they were recognized in Wine and Spirits magazine, top 100 winery of the year for, I think it's 14 consecutive years in a row. So, they are Léocolle. If you ask anybody that knows a little bit about Washington wines, Léocolle is the name that comes out of Washington State. And Washington State is also the domestic giant production of Syrah, and they do it really well. Really the difference we're going to go through with these Syrahs, we have 3 lined up, right? We're starting with the Léocolle because Washington State is cooler climate, right? So that's really what's going to separate is the climate differences throughout the Syrahs, right? So having this, they actually do blend a little bit of Grenache on the back end of this Syrah. And so if you taste it, it's definitely going to be, it's super dark in the glass, super purple, which they're all going to be very, very heavy looking in the glass. So, they're full-bodied wines. That's Syrah. They're full of black, the classic dark fruit. Should get you should get a little peppercorn, maybe a little bit of an earthy finish on it too. They are using French oak as well. So what do you guys think of this one?
This is a Kate wine.
Definitely a Kate wine.
I love that Merlot we had from them, and so I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. I love this as well.
Yeah.
I do have to make a comment about Walla Walla, which is they're also known for in Walla Walla are their sweet onions, similar to the Valdosta onions. And every year at what was the name of the burger place in Portland? Every year this like fast food place in Portland, they would have fresh Walla Walla fried onion rings.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
It's
pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the cool thing about Walla Walla, I mean, you're right there on the southeast part of Washington State, and Walla Walla, you had a lot of the French influence come into Walla Walla. You actually had some Italians come in as well, because that was the trading post before Seattle was set up, and that became the largest city. Walla Walla was it. That was a trading post for everything that came through Washington State. A lot of the French settlers coming down from the north within Canada coming down into Washington State. So that's why you do see a lot of the French influence within that area.
It's owned to Columbia as well, right?
So Lake Hole themselves, they own, it's Columbia Valley, which is technically the largest AVA within Washington State. So, and then you have Walla Walla, which is where they're based out of. And they own multiple vineyards throughout, and a lot of the most prestigious vineyards, really. They have the estate, the Ferguson estate, the Seven Hills are probably the most prominent vineyards within all of Washington State, and known just for the reputation, the quality of grapes that really are producing out of there.
Yeah, when I think of Washington wines, I think of something like this, like a nice big Syrah or Merlot or even a Cabernet from
right. And they're a lot of the wines too, they do a lot of the Bordeaux style blends. So Merlots, Cabs, it's a lot of the Bordeaux grapes, which today Bordeaux announced that they're allowing 6 new grapes into the AOC of Bordeaux. So they're going to start allowing around 10% and less on certain grapes, more grapes in the 5 nobles that they now allow. They're going to bring in some new grapes into there.
Oh, that's exciting.
So they've been fighting for that for many years, trying to allow some more stuff to be grown in there, and
That's
to be
cool.
basically to be stamped as a Bordeaux on a label. And it is a lot of crosses from a lot of the Spanish grapes too.
So I'm going to tell you guys the pairing real quick.
Oh yeah.
The pairing is the Abbey Farms Goat Gouda.
It's over here,
No,
right?
that one.
Yeah, the long,
Skinny.
Thank you.
long, skinny triangles. Yes.
I love this one. Mm.
Ruth loves this wine. Oh, Ruth. We haven't heard from Ruth in a while. Glad to hear that.
So this wine is a little heavy, and I would say oaky. I tend to stay away from Syrah, so I'm interested to see if I like one of these. But I mean, this is a good wine, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely a Kate wine.
Yeah, it is very earthy, and I like that. Kind of bold, that Washington style. I love it. That's definitely in my favorite list.
Yeah, but I tell you what, paired with that Gouda, I think it changes it.
Yeah, it's good. That's good pairing.
But it was next to the rosemary, so if you got the
Yeah, you did.
if you got the charcuterie,
yeah,
if it was, I love when she puts the cheese next to the rosemary.
it changes.
Yeah.
It's great.
So good.
And you also have that.
Very good. Anyway,
Excellent. Joe agrees with Christy.
do the Macalinans have bacon on demand?
Oh yeah, Mike only eats bacon. He said that's wine for him, and I was like, put some bacon on it.
Oh, that's funny.
He does love his bacon.
Yes.
He does?
Oh yeah.
You know, I order my bacon.
I used to.
I order my
In
bacon.
Benton's in Tennessee.
Yeah, Butcher Box. Do you do Butcher Box?
No, I haven't.
Dude, they do sales on bacon, and the bacon is so good. My kids are bacon snobs.
There's good bacon around here too. The butcher shops.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're not carrying bacon. That's
You
where I
could.
draw the line.
You could.
Sorry, Mike.
You could.
All right.
Oh, see, Joy.
All right, so we haven't won Joe over yet, but I'm not
No.
surprised. I think she's gonna like the next one.
Would you call that, Brandon, a pretty traditional Syrah? Like,
Yeah, that's what we're kind of starting with this. Cooler climate. So I really, right now, I wanted to really originally do a Rhone Syrah. And right now with what I have in inventory, I'm sure everyone knows how crazy the import world is out there. And I mean, everyone probably witnessed the Suez Canal incident this week with the cargo ship being stuck in there. But that's just a very small glimpse of what is really happening that's coming out of the EU realistically. So I didn't have any really true Rhone style Syrahs on offer. Everything else was blended and it was more Grenache based. So this is a cool comparison to have really close in style to Rhone, because you have more of the same soil types and
Okay.
cooler climate. So it's a little bit lighter in style. And we're going to progressively get warmer in our climate. And the warmer you go, the more bolder that wine's going to become, and the higher alcohol percentage as well. That's gonna show in there.
And that's because the grapes are drying out a little more. They're losing some of their juice as they get ready for harvest. Is that
Right? Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brandon wanted to do the Saint Combe, which
yeah.
we all. I mean, everyone. I haven't met anyone that doesn't like that wine.
Yeah, they make great.
But we
wines.
have done that wine.
Yeah, we've done that one.
Done it
Yeah.
a few times because it is a customer favorite. So we just thought we'd try something different for this one. But yeah,
I'm glad we tried this one. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can always go back to something once the world settles in there with everything, and I can find us a really cool 100% Rhone style Syrah. It's just right now with how the cargo containers, realistically right now, a lot of stuff got diverted into China. It increased the cargo container price coming out into the Atlantic 400%. We have, month and a half delays on wines trying to come into the port right now. Ships that are sitting outside of Miami, ships that are sitting outside of New York, LA, and everything. They've actually showed us charts of what some of our ships have had to go through with, some of these ports have had workers' strikes, and they're going literally from Canada all the way through the Panama Canal, and then they're sitting in a port and going all the way to San Francisco and sitting outside of the port waiting. So it's pretty crazy right now. COVID pandemic has messed a lot of stuff up.
Yeah, I saw something in the paper today. It's just like, oh, now it's time for the reckoning. Like as far as like what that meant for shipping and global trade. It's a lot bigger deal than I think folks realized at first.
Yeah.
My favorite tweet about that whole thing was #PutItBack. Like when they actually moved it and got it out, what was trending was, no, don't take it away. There's too many good stuff in the Twitterverse. No, #PutItBack.
Oh, the ship. Yeah, there's some great memes coming out on that guy. But yeah, it's, we're seeing it throughout not only wine. You can see it on your grocery store shelves and everywhere. The price of goods are going up. Shipping cost has gone through the roof. And, there's really, limited stuff on aluminum right now too. And a lot of the metals coming out of China that we're getting. So it's going to be a rough little patch we're going to go through on this. But one awesome benefit though right now is all the the EU tariffs have been suspended. So now in the next vintages, any wines coming out of the EU, we're not going to get hit with that 25% tariff. So you're actually going to see on the next vintages, our European wines should actually lower back down a little bit in price. So that's when we get them in.
I was going to say, I thought all your prices are up 200%, right?
Well, actually, Brandon did send me an email about price increases. He was like, "Okay, this is just so you know what's happening." Because
they've had some of the increases, on the vintages that are coming in right now, and then what I'm talking about on these future vintages is going to be next year around this time when we're getting this next round in. Really, so that's when we're going to see it kind of decrease again. But yeah, with how the cargo containers are, I talked to someone that's not even in the wine world. They actually, he's the owner of the Indo Boards. He's a local guy. He's in Melbourne Beach, Hunter. He's a big wine drinker, and we were talking last week, and he was saying how his European leg, getting just those out, and a cargo container ship went from $2,000 fee to now it's $15,000. So if you can imagine, that's a big chunk of change.
Wow.
All right, let's drink some more Syrah.
Yeah. Moving on.
We just poured this in the glass, Brandon, and I already know I will probably like it because it's lighter in color.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't tasted it.
So it may be a little lighter. There's a little more iron-rich soils than what we're drinking now. So what's in your glass is Ciacci Piccolomini. So this is probably one of the most sought-after producers in all of Italy. It's an ancient estate. They're holding about 35 hectares. You're kind of on the northwestern side of Tuscany there in Italy. Ciacci is such a prestigious winery in the terms of, they are really, really known for Brunello and Barolos. And they're mostly the Brunello. The Brunello, so they have two very prestigious vineyards, the Pinot Rosso and the Fonte vineyard, within their 35 hectares. The Pinot Rosso, Brunello, just to give you a little bit of how highly sought after these wines are, they came in last year at 100-point ratings. And that's not taking anything away from what you're drinking in your glass, which is their Syrah. So basically, the Brunello production and what they pull their blends from in their Sangiovese, you're going to be on the north side of their 35 hectares of their vineyard. There's a small river that runs through the center. On the south side, which is a little bit warmer of a microclimate, that's where their production of Syrah, Cabernet, and Merlot is going to be. So this is 100% Syrah. Robert Parker actually tasted in the past the Fabius, the Syrah Fabius, which is the Fabius vineyard. He actually said this is one of the finest Italian Syrah he has ever tasted in past vintages. So it is, this is a really cool one. You don't see a ton of production really of Syrah in Italy. We don't have a ton of them in our book either. But this is, they're part of it's called the Lata Integra, which is the EU's nomination of the vineyard promoting basically no chemicals within the vineyard, and all pretty much organic viticulture, and they're harvesting everything by hand, harvesting, pruning, the fertilization is all organic as well too. So it is, it's very, very, very traditional.
Yeah.
You go first.
But these two are on either side of me going, yum, I love this. This is amazing, delicious, so.
It's completely different from the prior one.
Yeah.
I know, so different. Wow.
It's like, night and day. But I have to say, I think I prefer this one. But, on the other hand, in certain situations, the Washington State, depending on what I'm eating.
I was going to say, if you're eating some ribs, like some charred ribs, I feel like the first red would be more, right? Like you would want a heavier wine, something barbecue.
Try the Campozzolo with it.
I love this brand.
If you have the cheese pairing or the charcuterie, try the Cambazola.
This
Yeah,
one?
it's the yeah, that's it right there. It's the blue, the brie blue combo.
It's making my COVID arm less sore.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got our COVID shots. We can't
Oh, cool.
lift our arms up.
You're all sore.
We're like,
Well,
oh.
I didn't get mine because apparently I'm not like a keyboard genius like Alex. Alex got like 10 appointments. He's like, hey, you want one?
He said
He's selling them off over there.
he was saying all of his college days of trying to get concert tickets, like right when they go on sale. He's like, hey, I told you.
The mail order lotteries for the Grateful Dead.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all about that.
Joe, I'm with you.
You don't love cheese?
With the wine, I don't think I love the cheese. Like that's one of my I love that cheese, but with the wine, yeah.
All right, not a.
Which is this one?
So I'm gonna try it with the double cream.
All right. Maybe. Oh, good job. Good, Karen. They got the shot too. Maybe I mixed them up. I gotta taste it. I don't believe you. Oh, Alex ate it all. All right. We'll see. But no,
The triple cream with this one is super good.
is it?
It's super good. But the thing I would say is this wine I like better than the first wine, but with the cheese, it completely changes the flavor.
I like it.
Of course you do.
That's because you're my husband. He's like, I'm not bringing Sauvignon
I am
Blanc
unbiased
again.
in this situation.
Unbiased.
No, you would tell me the truth. Don't worry.
No, I do. But I really like this wine, and the bottle is super fancy. I feel like this would be a crowd pleaser. Like
What's
you could
the
take
price
this.
point on this bad boy? 28?
26.
26.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of what's, with how prestigious they are really as a Brunello producer, and they make an amazing Rosso as well, an amazing blend. The Italians call this Ateo, which means atheist, because these aren't an indigenous grape to Italy, That's what they call Cabernet and Merlot as well. So that's why the south side of the vineyards, they're Ateo. They're atheist side of the vineyard. So they're not the Italian grapes there, because Syrah originally more than likely I think came out of France. And that's where it really started. And then they cloned it from there.
All right. Well, it seems like most people like this one better.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna have to revisit because I feel like I like the first one better.
You would.
You would.
You would.
Yeah, and the first one too, you may like. I feel like too, you like some of the reds that are a little more French oaked, as well. They're using a little bit of French oak on this, not as much. And this is a little more old world esque, so it's just completely different in style.
Yeah, completely different.
Definitely more old world.
Yeah. You get those Tuscan roots in there. It's, and they're only doing about, I'd say, we're a little over 600 cases a year on this wine. So it's not a really high production wine at all.
But they're picking them by hand, right?
Yep. Everything's done by hand. It's very traditional and old world style. Like I said, it's an ancient estate that's been there for hundreds of years, and it is some of the most sought after property within Tuscany. I mean, if you know anybody that's an Italian wine drinker, they know Ciacci. It has a name. They're not a big, like I said, 35 hectares. You can't pump out that many cases, but if you can find their Brunellos out there in the market, it's a big if. They're amazing wines too. I mean, those are just, like I said, 90. They're consistently 98 points and above.
Let us know when you find them, Brandon.
Yeah, I'll let you know when they come in. We won't see the 16 Brunello. I'll keep an eye on it, but They should be coming in the next few months for the 16 Brunello. The 15s were basically a pre-sale a little while ago, and they were sold through within like a day. So,
Wow.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I love when I get those texts from you, like, okay, this wine is coming. We have like 4 cases. It's gonna be gone tomorrow.
yeah. You gotta.
I'm like,
I'll red flag you and say urgent. Need a response ASAP because these wines they don't last long, and we don't get a lot of it either. And I mean, even as Florida being the number 3 state for wine sales in the country, we still don't see that many cases come in.
Number 3?
After California and New York, right?
Correct.
Yes.
What? I guess.
But I think right now, through our company at least, Florida is carrying the country right now. I mean,
Go Florida.
Go Florida. I mean, we're the freest. What I keep telling her, we're the freest country in the world down here in Florida. So, I feel blessed that we're able to do this, and it's awesome. We've figured out a way around things, and
Especially that new style of bathing suits this year.
There's a new style of bathing suit?
Yes.
What do you mean?
It's all the rage.
Nobody
Oh my
told
God.
me.
What are you talking about?
If you wore one, I would die.
Is it
The thong one?
for men?
Oh, I've been wearing those for years.
No, the 80s style where it's like all the way up. Are you kidding me? You haven't seen the girls like walking
No, we don't get
What
that
for
much.
girls? I
all
like
the
that.
way
On the
all
butt?
the way up, but in the butt.
Oh,
too. Like
I like it on the side.
no, homie. My kids are like, Mom, is she wearing a bathing?
Yeah, I know. I see the.
You shouldn't
I
take your kids outside the house during spring break.
In Cocoa Beach, yeah.
Put their blinders on. Yeah.
It's funny. We
Let's
are free. How about that? Okay.
Very free.
Very free.
insert Kid Rock song.
All right, guys. Is everybody ready to move on to numero 5?
Brenda's like, you guys are just
Yes. Yeah, we are, Brandon.
All right, cool, guys. We're on number 5, the last and final Syrah for the tasting. We are going down under to Margaret River, all the way on the west coast of Australia. I know we've had one other West Coast Australian Margaret River wine. I believe it was a Cabernet, Vasse Felix, I want to say.
Yep.
So if you guys remember, you're talking really, really ancient seabed style soil there. This is more on the southern side. Howard Park is more on the southern side, specifically the Flint Rock region, which is his Franklin and Mount Barker subregion. So you're on the it's called the Great Southern of the Margaret River region. So, ancient soils you're using. What's cool is that whole area has a lot of really small microclimates that get involved there. So Howard Park is all about using fine grained French oak. So it really layers in the wine and makes them way more complex. This wine right here, 100% Shiraz, you're looking at 20% new and 80% used on the aging on the barrels, okay? And that's about 14 to 18 months on age, pending how they think it's going to turn out. But yeah, this is a cool one. We don't, this is Shiraz, right, guys? This isn't Syrah anymore. We're in Australia, so they call it Shiraz. But this should show, it should be really garnet in your glass. It's really heavy plum, black cherry fruit flavors. It should have a little bit of that cocoa flavor as well on the back end too. Velvety, really, really, really supple and really round tannins as well.
I love those. Was it Valley Flutes?
Vasse Felix, yes.
Thank you. I loved those wines out of Margaret River, and yeah, this stands is right there with it.
I will have to say this is like right behind number 4. Like I would say 5 would be. It's super smooth. You know,
Yeah.
it's heavier than I usually lean, but like it's really good. What do you think? You love it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know, 5 and 3 are, you know, I like both of those. They're very different. But yeah, for me, this is like I could drink this without food even. I mean,
It's a lovely Shiraz.
I mean, I love this, and the Lake Hole, I feel like, you know, would be nice, like you said, like ribs or something, you know.
Yeah, but this one I don't taste the oak, which is that flavor that I'm really kind of like, what's the word? Like I have an aversion to it.
Yeah.
Like if I taste it, I'm like, that's not my favorite. But this one doesn't have it. So you're saying it's French oak, right? 20.
Yes. 20% new, 80% used. Another thing to add in with them is like some of the others that we've had from Australia, like Yalumba and Vasse Felix, they are Howard Park. They've been in production in that winery for about 40 years now. And they're a member of the Australia's First Family of Wine. So that's a collection of 12 multi-generational family-owned wine producers in Australia. So they're some of the originals, some of the OGs there. You know, if you look at the label on there, you have the Tree of Life. There's a dragon that's intertwined with it. So it's all about, you know, signifying the creative balance between the temptation and ultimate enlightenment. That's what the label's signifying there for you.
And Margaret River was that place that UC Davis professor went to when they were trying to identify somewhere in the world where you could cultivate vineyards, in a manner that was similar to what they had in France, and they identified like Western Australia, Margaret River as the place. And
if you look at it, West Oz really has a lot of similarities to Bordeaux. You know, you have Mediterranean climate and pretty similar soil types there, but you know, they have the ability there with just to yield wines from really like cool climate and a little bit warmer on the Mediterranean side of the climate there. You know, and they really do show some awesome wines that are they're elegant and they have finesse behind them, and they're just, you know, I actually really love the Cabernets that come out of Margaret River too. They can have a little bit higher pyrazine level, so you get a little more of that green bell pepper. They're not as fruit driven as what you'd get out of California, nowhere near, but it's almost Bordeaux-esque, you know. And they are using the French oak too, so it's, you know, there's definitely similarities in that.
And we're south of Perth, right? But like it's So
much south of Perth.
Right. So that area, were they hammered like some of the west coast of Australia with the wildfires down there?
West Coast didn't get hit really. Okay. Margaret River area was good, but a lot of it was more so on the eastern portion. You know, Margaret River's if you look at it, I mean, I'm really familiar with it for two reasons: wine and surfing. There's some of the best waves in the world that are there, and also some of the biggest great whites in the world. But it's very, very, very remote. I mean, you're talking about towns with only a couple hundred people living there, and it is, you know, if you look at it on a map, there's not much out there, but it is beautiful. It is absolutely breathtaking area, and Howard Park is definitely one of those vineyards that if you look them up online, just the way they have the layout of the vineyard and the property and the building and the tasting room is it's top notch. I mean, it looks so awesome. Australia's been on my list for a long time now, so hopefully they open their borders soon.
Once the kids graduate, what we should do is like charter a catamaran or a trawler in Australia and go to these like vineyards. That's what we should do.
You're assuming our kids are going to graduate. second. Okay,
Well.
money bags.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd love to go down there. I did
Me
I think one of our tastings last year. I think I was trying to talk about one of the Margaret River.
Yes, that's what
Why I
happened.
know
So
about it.
now he knows.
And like when I was researching, I'm like, oh my god, I have to go there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. That's my dream one day is to start, on the southeast corner of Australia and just drive the whole southern coast and go up into Margaret River there. It'd be so cool to just have a car, take a surfboard and a fishing pole and just drive. Taste wine all along the way. It'd be awesome.
cool.
It's a
I
dream.
have to say, Brandon, I'm
Yeah,
pleasantly
great job.
surprised.
So it seems like most people's favorite is number 5.
5?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's number 4 for me.
Okay.
Is my favorite, and then I would do 4, 2, 5, 1.
I'd go 4.
4?
4 is my favorite.
Okay.
I don't know. It's almost a tie between 3 and 5.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 3, 1, 5, 2, 4.
Really?
Wow.
4 is your
Where's your
least?
last?
See, you're either a Kate or a Christy.
Well, it's hard to rank these two because it's like, yeah.
I know, you're
are we-
not
Are we
ranking the
drinking? Are
same.
we drinking white
Right.
wine? Or are we drinking?
Right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's, hey, wine's subjective, guys. We've learned that over the last year. Everyone's palate is different, and I would go with number 5. I like that rich, robust Syrah. A cool
So-
comparison too is like more of a Rhone style Syrah is kind of like your medium light roast coffee, and then your Australian warmer climate Syrahs are going to be like your big dark roast, robust coffees there. So it's kind of how you could do it.
I kind of like what Joy did. She said, for the Syrahs, I like 5, 4, 3, and then 2, 1 for the other 2, because it is like, I feel like they should be a separate thing like that, So, I mean, 3 and 5 are definitely my faves of the reds, and then number 1.
They're all phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
They're,
Cool.
I'd pick any one of these up.
Oh, the pairing is karst. Forgot about that.
Karst again.
The karst is the Gruyere cheddar blend.
So good. Oh my God. This wine is only $23.
Oh wow, that's.
I feel like maybe
Thank
we
you,
should
Australia.
Yeah.
Christy wants to raise the
Raise the prices.
price. She's like, can we raise that price?
Yeah, Australia didn't get hit with any tariff either, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Australian wines. They kind of get pushed to the side. They're not, you don't see them too often on a wine list in restaurants. The only thing you'll see is a Shiraz. But there's some amazing wineries out there. I'm lucky enough to have 3 of those. With Basse Felix and the Alumba, Howard Park. Pusey Vale, another great Riesling producer for us. The biggest, most notable name really out of Australia is Penfolds, and their wines are killer. I actually had one of their 20-year ports last night at a restaurant at the Grandfather Port, and that's an amazing little wine too for a dessert wine. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely drink Australia. It's not what it used to be in the early 2000s. They're not critter wines anymore. This isn't Yellowtail.
Hey, and I'm so happy you've introduced us to those West Coast Australia wines in Margaret Valley, like
They're so good.
Sorry, Margaret River, and yeah, I mean because they're phenomenal, and especially for the price point.
Yeah. So, I want to say quickly to everyone that I don't know if I said this last week that we got our license to pour by the glass. We're going to be starting happy hour.
Yeah.
every day from Tuesday to Saturday, 5 to 7.
Did you hear that? 5 to 7 every day.
That doesn't mean Kate's going to be at happy
Tuesday
hour
to
every day from 5 to 7.
But no, Brandon is going to come in and he's going to do a little training with the girls, so that we can, have our, know how to open a bottle of wine and how to talk about it and stuff. And and then we are going to be doing the kickoff party for that on April 10th from 4 to 7. So hopefully you guys can make it to that. Pop in.
And I'll be there as well for that one too.
Oh, next
Awesome.
Saturday.
Great.
Next Saturday.
You'll be
Yeah,
here.
that's next Saturday.
Awesome.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Brandon will
I'll come pour for a couple hours and I'll help you guys out, and we'll open something new up, and we'll have some fun.
Brandon, bring us a surprise.
Okay, I'll see what I got.
Yes, we love it.
What a great tasting.
That was really good.
It'll be whiskey for Alex and I, and then I'll bring some wine.
Hey, I just scored what is the big, it's like a handle of Weller from ABC. The guy's
Nice.
I went in there on Wednesday because that's when they get their Weller shipments. And he's like, I was like, got any Weller or Trace? He pulls out this little bottle of Trace. I'm like, what about Weller? And he's like, digs around back there and he pulls out this huge bottle of Weller. I'm like, I'll take that. And he's like, yeah, we were holding it for some guy for like 4 or 5 days. And I think that's long enough. I was like, thank you.
So Weller is going to start, I think soon, going to open up to the rest of the state. I think they're actually getting in trouble because of their contract they're running with ABC, and they're not supposed to actually be doing that. So
yeah, antitrust type stuff or something.
yeah, it's not a good look. I mean,
Sure.
Weller's, they're amazing whiskey, and a lot of people, it's sought after, but it's the bourbon market is so upside down right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring you something. I just landed the first ever Japanese whiskey barrel to ever come into Florida, and possibly the entire East Coast. We did a barrel pick with the mansion in Melbourne, so I can grab you a bottle of that too. It's Kaio barrel number 5744. It's Mizunara oak from Japan, ocean aged whiskey. So it's really cool, really unique, and amazing whiskey.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
All right. If anybody has $200,000 for me to get my liquor license, that'll be next.
Yeah, we can do some barrel picks. Come on.
Brandon and I in a whiskey bar.
You need about 145 more seats though. So
Yeah.
You're right. Oh,
Okay.
so buy out Twin Finnegans, knock down that wall, and let's do this.
Oh, we love them.
I know.
Yeah, they
They're
wanna-
awesome.
Partners.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah,
Brandon, great
Great
job.
job, man.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys.
Good.
Hope
Thank
everyone
you.
has a great weekend.
All right.
Yeah,
you
happy
too.
Easter.
Looking forward
Happy
to
Easter, y'all.
next Saturday.
Yeah.